The video for February the 9th, 2017 is titled Trouble Sleeping. I was still wide awake nearly 4 hours after I went to bed last night. I tossed and turned, trying to quiet my mind. Interestingly, a friend who lives west of me in another time zone sent me a message around 3:30 a.m. telling me the same thing, writing, quote, "I should be asleep, but I can't sleep. I'm so tired. I will go lay down, but then think of something else and end up getting back up. I don't know what's going to happen next. It seems like something is, though. I am having difficulty seeing a silver lining. I can't even look to God right now and feel a peace. I just feel nothing and numb," end quote. Of course, I did not see the message until this morning. Despite the insomnia, I was wide awake before the sun rose, sleeping only a few hours at most. I too wonder what is happening. I sense there is much more going on that I don't know about yet. Is this common at this time, or is it just the two of us? Yeah, she went on, and I shouldn't have said. Anyway, watching the video came to mind, or the song came to mind from Hee Haw, Gloom, Despair, and Agony, and went and looked it up, and it relates to that, except it's not funny. And it's not funny, folks, what's going on. I suspect the part that we don't see is that these control freaks that have been running the illusion of control for so long, that now that humanity is waking up and perhaps there is intervention that we don't see and aren't told about, perhaps they are just getting really scared because their game plan is falling apart. They're not going to be able to take control of the world and destroy God's real creation, which is us, and take it over. These are, again, I keep saying it, and it's what I believe the reality is. These are demonic beings that have malevolent intent and no desire whatsoever that we become liberated, that we're allowed to experience love without limits, that we can fulfill what I believe has always been our destiny, to become travelers in the universe, to be able to explore. But we're quarantined here on a planet of doom. And I don't believe we've gone to the moon. I don't believe we've sent rocket ships that have reached other places. I think that's all a movie that they're projecting. I could be wrong, but I think there's been so many lies that it's hard to know what the truth is. And yet, in this time of awakening, our minds and our souls and the very center of our being is being stretched with energies and revelations and all sorts of things that we haven't had to deal with in past generations. Something is happening. And I suspect that the two of us are not the only ones that are having trouble sleeping. I suspect this is endemic to what's going on the planet. And that's why I asked the question, is it just the two of us? I'd like to see some responses on this on Facebook and YouTube. They're the only two places that I look, so I don't put my videos anywhere else, just on those two. And I know they're both cabal-controlled operations, but the cabal is coming down, and I really believe that that's true. But I also believe that they're trying to fight to keep things going as much as they can and as long as they can. I know something is happening with my computer. I mean, I have to keep rebooting my computer because things start freezing up on both computers, my newer one and my older one. And I suspect, again, that is created and caused by people in the cabal that are trying to hinder as much as they can the unfolding of truth that I and many others are doing. And if only people could get away from the TV. The TV is the worst thing that has ever been invented as far as a brainwashing tool, because people become glued to it. Now, the cell phone is another thing that may even be worse than the TV. I mean, as I've said in other videos, all my grandchildren now have cell phones. And I don't think the younger ones are as glued to it as the oldest one, but they live on their cell phone. Everything is cell phone, cell phone, cell phone. And as I've said, for me, the cell phone sits in my car for emergency use only. And minutes just keep accumulating because I don't use it. I don't make calls on my cell phone, and I don't receive calls. Only a few people know that what the number even is. So anyway, I just am curious as to how many people are experiencing this sleeplessness to the extent that I am. It's been going on for a time. I mean, I have nights that I sleep well, and I have other nights that I can't seem to sleep at all. Thank God for the ones that I'm able to sleep well. But I rarely sleep more than 5 or 6 hours is amazing. If I can get 6 hours in a row. And that's not very often, believe me. And that's been going on for a very long time in my life. That seems to be the pattern. In any case, I continue to hope for the best. She said she had trouble praying at one point and talking to God. Well, I get that, because God seems unresponsive to the prayers. We don't seem to get the peace that I'd like to get, and I think all of us would like to get. We're in a time of great turmoil and great testing and turbulence in the spiritual realm as well as the natural realm, but more in the spiritual realm. And that's why we don't know. If it was all in the physical realm, we'd be able to have a reason for it. But a lot of it that's going on, we really don't know, and we don't have a reason, and we're not able to properly define it and say it's because of this. Anyway, I guess I'm just rambling on, and I'd like to know what are your thoughts? What are your feelings about this subject? And what's your personal experience in regard to sleeping? Thank you for listening, and namaste.